calm stress. That's not my business, that's God's business. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's a new video today, and this is my third time trying to film this video, and it just was not working out. So I was like, am I not supposed to film this video? And I was like, no, I'm gonna get this video out because I feel like there's somebody that's gonna need to hear this. I also decided to do my makeup while we do it. I had a few different titles for this video, honestly. It could be 5 things you need to know to run a successful business. It could be 5 life advice. It's also 5 things that I learned in 2022. First thing I learned in 2022 is the concept of getting 1% better. I learned this in one of my favorite books, Atomic Habits, from the Bible, and it basically talks about the idea of getting 1% better every day. I feel like sometimes in life, I always kind of felt like if I couldn't show up as 100% of what I wanted to do, like if I couldn't give my 100%, I wouldn't do something at all. And that's not to say that I wouldn't do what I need to do to the best of my ability, but there are certain days where like you just don't have the energy. And I remember seeing a quote, I'm gonna stop doing my makeup because I talk so much. I remember seeing a quote that said that if you have 40% energy today and you still show up, you gave your 100%. Like sometimes we discount like the one workout, because it's like when you do one thing, like if you go to just that one workout, of course you're not gonna see results, but it's an accumulation of the continuous workout and the continuous things that you're gonna do. And like I will almost be like, oh, I don't want to post that content. It's like one hair is out of place, and no offense, but like nobody's paying attention to that stuff. You just gotta do what you have to do. That's not to say that I'll post crappy content, but it's also giving myself grace and knowing that like it's not every day that like my content is gonna be perfect. There's some days where it's not gonna be great, but I'm still gonna push through and do what I need to do to make sure that I'm accomplishing my goals. The second thing that I learned, and I feel like every business owner needs to learn, is get uncomfortable. I know people say it all the time. I know it's a cliche, get comfortable with uncomfortable, but truly it's a cliche and people keep saying it because it's so true. Everything you want to accomplish is on the other side of comfort, and you can't get it if you don't cross that line. I remember when I wanted to when I first started getting into posting like content on Instagram and Reels and stuff. When I tell you, I used to be one of those people that I'll post a reel, I'll literally be gagging at the thought of just literally typing up the caption. I'm like, who do you think you are? I would literally be physically gagging because I'm like, ugh, like it just sounds so cringy, typing up the caption, coming up with the reel, doing the voice. Like I literally used to cringe, and then after I post it, I'll literally turn up my phone and get off Instagram for hours because I'm like, I was like, now it's just become another thing that I do in my day, like brushing my teeth, because I post pretty much every day on Instagram, so it's not even something that like I give a thought to. And I feel like the more you do things you're uncomfortable with, the new comfort levels you set for yourself. So I'm trying to set a new comfort level for myself, which is getting comfortable just showing my face more, actually like talking to the camera and not just doing like pre-recorded audios like voiceovers. And yeah, everything is gonna seem uncomfortable at first. Like even working out, if you're trying to get into workout, you're gonna feel a little funny. You haven't worked out in months, like of course it's gonna feel funny, of course it's gonna be uncomfortable. But the more you do something, the more comfortable you get with it, and it just becomes second nature to you. The third point I can give you, and honestly this is gonna sound quite harsh, but get over yourself. I felt yeah, it sounds harsh, but get over yourself, honestly. And I'm going to try and post a reel that I did, if I remember.
Ever thought your gift wasn't just about you, but to be a blessing onto others? You letting your fear hold you back is holding someone's blessing. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to hold on to anyone's blessing. While we're so worried about how we look, how we sound, how we feel, the presentation of our gifts and ideas, person that needs the gifts and ideas, they just need to hear it. They don't care about the packaging. So share your ideas, share your concepts, share your project, set your gifts free so you can set someone's blessings free.
Sometimes we're just so critical of ourselves, and we look at ourselves from like a perfectionist lens that like, oh my gosh, your hair is out of place. Or I don't mean to sound like mimicking. It's like, oh my gosh, your hair is out of place. Oh my gosh, there was this little shadow on the background, or like, oh, I'm mimicking, but like this is also me because I used to do this as well. Like the person that needs your talent and gifts, let's say you're somebody that can sing, the people that need to be blessed by your voice. Well, maybe not sing, but I don't know, what's a good example right now? Okay, let's say you're an educational content creator, you post how to go on TikTok or whatever. Let's say there's a little hair out of place, or maybe the audio is not the greatest or like that. Not to say that that stuff doesn't matter, but like all that extra stuff, all the aesthetics and stuff, yeah, it's cute, but like the person that needs to hear what you have to say, they just need to hear it. Sometimes we just box ourselves in and we stop ourselves from growth because we're just trying to reach this level of perfection. The only way you're gonna get to where you need to get to is by being in doing what you said you're gonna do. Let's say you want to become, I keep forgetting to do my makeup. We wait till we get to a certain level before we start acting like it. And the funny thing is you need to start acting like it so then you can become it. So let's say you want to become a content creator and you're like, oh, maybe if I get a few hundred more followers, then I'll start posting. The only way you're going to gain those followers is if you post your content. Like for me, I wanted to start teaching. Like, oh, I want to potential students who are other graders and stuff. The only way I could pull in those potential students that are graders is if I post educational content. I get so passionate about this stuff because like I'm also kind of talking to myself. Let's say you want to become a YouTuber and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the perfect camera. How about you post those videos? That way you get monetized and you get money to buy the camera. Like, step into that realm, step into that zone. Then your mindset then matches reality. If you start acting like a YouTuber, you start posting like YouTube, you start posting like a content creator, eventually you will become that content creator that's maybe, I don't know, getting packages, getting sponsorships, and yada, yada, yada. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, let's get to it, guys. And the last thing I'm just gonna say with the last point is the fact that, like, even if that one hair is out of place, or even if somebody's like, oh my gosh, why is your hair like that? Who cares? They're clearly not your target audience, and that's just none of your business. Which then goes into my next point of letting go and letting God. This was a mindset that I really embodied last year of let go and let God. And I know people say it, but I kind of just took the let go and let God mentality into like, that's not my business, that's God's business. As a Christian business owner, Christian content creator, Christian in general, I feel like sometimes we pray for God to do certain things when we don't need. It's kind of like you pray to pass anything. You're like, God, please help me get an A, but you're sitting on your butt and not doing anything. I found myself doing that a lot before, where I was like, God, please like take my business to the next level, or like bless me and yada yada yada. But like, what was I actually physically doing? And this is when I would be like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I can do, and then the rest is up to God. So let's say with reels and stuff, God is not gonna. He's not gonna create a reel for me. I have to legit like get off my butt and go create the reels. So I will be like, I'll create the reels. That's my business. How many views and how many people, how many comments, that's God's business. I can't carry the burden of creating the reels and then worrying about who's seeing it, worrying about who commented. That's just too much burden. That's just a lot of stress. And that's just not my business. That's God's business. So I posted a TikTok to promote my business. I thought it was gonna get 100,000 views. It got 10. That's not my business. That's God's business. I got to the point where I was just like, I can't be stressed anymore, and it's just not my business. That's just God's business. So like, he will handle what he needs to handle, and I can't be stressed. Like, it's just, that's like, literally, it sounds so ridiculous, but when I was in that mindset, I was the most peaceful I ever was, because like, I was just not stressed. I was just doing everything I could do, everything I could physically do that God literally could not come down and do for me, and then the rest is up to him. And I just feel like that's when your faith truly needs to kick in and realize that like, whoever God meant to show that video to, he's going to show it to. Whoever God meant to promote your business to, he's going to promote it to. And even if this video doesn't do well or do what you wanted it to do, don't carry that stress. Truly let it go and let it up to God. And in due time, if that's truly where he wants you, he will do what he needs to do. It might not be on our time. It might not be when we want it to be. And it's a hard pill to swallow, especially like when you put in the work and you're like, oh God, I thought this was the time, and you like move it and it just was not. It sucks, but you can't carry that stress. You can't carry that stress. My camera cut out, so I don't know where I left off, but my whole point being, a lot of our goals, they might seem like scary and huge, but if you're surrounded by people to where your big goals are like their everyday lifestyle, those goals won't seem as much. If they're doing it, that means it's not impossible, and I can also do it. People that you surround yourself are so important. And when I was young, I said like, no, it's not that important, but it is important. You truly have to surround yourself with just like-minded people. I'm not saying go cut out all your friends, and if y'all are not talking about business, then like you have no business. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You're still gonna have those friends, but I do think to a certain extent, every friend should serve a positive purpose in your life. They should not be a friend that's necessarily like pulling you down. Turns out I actually have 7 points, but I'm almost wrapping up. My 6th one, I think, is find out what your limiting beliefs are. Every single one of us, we have limiting beliefs. Your limiting beliefs are literally exactly what it sounds like. They're belief systems that you have that are holding you back. So for me, a limiting belief that I had was that I was not qualified for certain things, and that was just a belief that I had. I know where it came from, but That's a therapy discussion. Some people's limiting belief are that they're not capable, they're not qualified, they're too young for the role, they're too old for the role. Stuff like that is all your limiting belief system. I feel like a lot of times we set these goals for ourselves, but we don't tackle our limiting beliefs and our mindset first. And it's like we have this goal that we want to accomplish. We know everything we need to do to accomplish it, but we're still not doing it. So before I start anything, I like to truly ask myself the why. So for me, I struggled with a lot of goals that it was like my goals were literally on the table right in front of me, but for some reason I couldn't grab it and reach it. And I had to truly find out why I wasn't accomplishing a lot of the goals that I set for myself. And I had to keep asking myself, so why haven't you done it? The moment I found out the why and now I'm tackling that, I am now able to step into this new era. Yeah. This new era of like, I know what my limited beliefs are, that way I can then tackle it. To truly solve every single issue you have, you need to tackle your limited belief system. Okay, so I'm really gonna try and wrap up this video because my battery's just acting up. My very last point that I feel like you need to learn as a business owner, content creator, whatever you wanna call yourself, is break down your goals into the smallest form possible. A lot of our goals, they seem huge because like we do set these unrealistic goals for ourselves. And the perfect example of like breaking your goals down to the smallest form possible is, this reminds me of in college. We go to fall semester of college in like September, right? And they tell you about that big project that's due like either like the week before Thanksgiving or like the week after Thanksgiving. And you're like, oh, I have all the time in the world. My makeup came out cute, so I'm looking at myself. And you're like, oh, I have all the time in the world to do it. And you save to the week before Thanksgiving. You're like, oh crap, that project that it seemed like you had all that time to do, now it's actually due and you haven't done anything. However, if you broke it down to, let's say, okay, the first week of school in September, you didn't really do much, or the second week. Maybe by the third week in September, you found what your topic is going to be on. Maybe by the first week in October, you found what the book is going to be on. And you broke it down to those small sections to where by the time you actually get to November, the end of November, when the project is due, you're more so just piecing things together. And this happened to me in 2021. I had this huge monetary goal that I set for myself. I didn't accomplish it. And I remember being like, in January, I was like, oh, I still have 11 more months to go. February, oh, I still have all the time to go. And little by little, before I knew it, it was September and I hadn't actually worked on my goals. My earrings are like clipped because I felt like I had all this time. And that's another thing when we set a huge goal for ourselves and we have a time frame, we feel like we have all this time to do it. And sometimes we say to the very last minute to where now it's like the goal seems impossible and we're almost kind of like, it's almost like you set yourself a failure, like, well, I knew I wasn't going to do it. I knew the goal was too big or I couldn't make it. It's like, no, if you had set yourself up for success, you actually were actively working on it during that time frame and not just saying it to the last minute, you will actually do it. Those huge goals that we set for ourselves, they become more attainable the moment we break them down to the smallest form possible. I have to tell myself that like, yo, you can't set this huge goal for yourself and give yourself this time frame and then not actively work on it every day. Let's say you want to have a goal that you want to meet by December 31st of 2023. Every single month of the year, assign yourself a goal out of that bigger goal. So by the time you get to December 31st, you've already done the majority of the work. It's probably just like little pieces that you're putting together. My battery acting up kind of broke my mojo of this video, but I hope you got my point. The first point, like I made, get 1% better every day. Forget about perfectionism. Do what you have to do, post your content, create the business, just start. I don't care if you can only make a 20-minute workout or a 30-minute workout, just still get it. Number 2, get uncomfortable. Gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, I don't feel like it. Do what you gotta do. Oh, it feels weird. Do what you gotta do. Oh, somebody's gonna look at me. Do what you gotta do. Number 3, like I said, get over yourself. I'm sorry. Sounds harsh, but it's not always about you. Sometimes your gifts are about other people. It's about to be a blessing to your family, your friends, other people in the world. It's not always about you. And I know we like to think it's about us, but sometimes it's not about us. So just get over yourself. Number 4, let go and let God. How many people support your business? That's not your business, that's God's business. How many people start your TikTok? That's not your business, that's God's business. Let go and let God. It's not your business, it's His business. Number 4, surround yourself with people who have similar goals as you. That way your goals can be more attainable. That way you're motivated, you're inspired. Don't get an ego based on the people that you're surrounded by because you feel like you're doing better than them and you settle for less. Number 4, limiting beliefs. Find out your why. Why do you want to start a business? Why do you want to be a content creator? And not superficial stuff, actual stuff that will motivate you. Find out what your limiting beliefs are. Maybe someone said when you were younger that you weren't qualified, or that you were sharing an idea you had and you're like, oh, shut up, nobody cares, and you held that turn. Find out why you think the way you think. Find out why you haven't accomplished those goals that you set for yourself. That way you can move forward. Tackle here so you can adjust your reality. Last but not least, break down your goals into small portions. Don't wait till December to start tackling those goals that you set for yourself. Start now. Now. Anyway, I hope you kind of got my gist about what I was saying. I hope the videos helped you out. So, I love you guys and see you on Saturday. Bye.